I did not think it was possible. All right. I did not think it was possible. But then being around other blind people, seeing what they were doing, seeing them cross streets, I was like, gosh, if all them can do it, well, why not I?
When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run, I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision.
Woo! All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel, and let's get right into it today. So we're just gonna dig really deep on this topic. We're probably even gonna make a part two. All right, because I want to make sure I'm giving this the proper energy and the proper mandatory, the proper focus that it deserves. Because you read the title, self-efficacy being lack of self-efficacy, low self-efficacy being dangerous. So I don't take that lightly, because this is a very important concept, and I think the fact that we can possibly have low self-efficacy is very dangerous. But for those who don't know what self-efficacy is, it's one's particular belief in themselves to produce or perform a particular task. Okay? So if we have low self-efficacy, we strongly don't believe that. All right. And so this is super important to kind of discuss and talk about when we're talking about the possibilities of moving forward. But when we're talking about the idea, the concept, the thought of low self-efficacy, we're opening up the door to negativity. All right. So this means we have a high level of being pessimistic. The idea of thinking that you can't do something. When you have low self-efficacy, you're in this rut. You're in this stuck place, this plateau where no matter what it is that you think about, want to do, could be a possibility, the answer is absolutely not. And so when we're in this reoccurring cycle of negativity, of low self-efficacy, we don't believe that we can cook for ourselves. We don't believe that we can make an amazing dish. We don't believe that we can be able to save a lot of money and buy a house. You start thinking about all the particular reasons on why that's not possible. And so that pessimistic view, if that continues, I'm not going to say don't let it consume you. Because if a cycle like that starts, it's difficult to get out of. And so when that cycle starts and we allow it to continue, we're no longer talking about letting it consume you, because, well, the reality of it is it already has consumed you. We can talk about trying to have positive values, but if we're always like that, but what if that goes wrong? That's impossible. We can't possibly do that. Well, then that cycle has already happened, and you've already let that negativity consume you. And so we don't often think of self-efficacy as a phrase or a term. And I didn't even know what the word self-efficacy meant until I started working in the disability field. But it's so important. It's such an important phrase, term, whatever you want to call it, because it can truly, it's a decision. It can truly be your entire atmosphere, that low self-efficacy piece. And when that happens, first it starts in that pessimistic view. Then it starts into not really wanting to go out and put yourself out there in a lot of different situations. So then you just always stay home all the time. And then that leads to not sleeping great. That could lead to depression. And we don't want things like that, right? And so we got to find ways to this dangerous self-efficacy mindset. We gotta get rid of it. We gotta crumple it up and we gotta throw it away because it's consumed us. And so, as we begin to move forward on this conversation, on this discussion, we've talked about the negativity piece on why self efficacy can be so dangerous because who knows where depression and all those different things can lead to. All right. We need to avoid that. And for those of us who are already in that place, well, now let's get to the next step of the video. All right. Let's move forward. Let's talk about a couple ways to actually then build our self efficacy, right? Because we're at this place where we got to build it from the ground up. And so, very recently in shorts content, I've been talking about the people that we surround ourselves with. Cue the clip. You're joking. You're joking, right? It's 2023. You're still hanging out with people who don't respect you? It's time to let them go. Cut them loose. It's 2023. If they don't respect you, they gotta go. Exactly. Exactly. We can't allow that. We can't allow that. So when we're on our grind, when we're on that high trajectory, the individuals, the people who we surround ourselves with, super important, super key. Okay. Major key alert. Major key. Shout out DJ Khaled. All right. Major key. The people you surround yourself with. All right. And I'm going to break this up into two different sections, and then I'll save the rest about how to build self-efficacy for another video. But the people who we surround ourselves with, okay? The first piece of this is you need to surround yourself with people who are encouraging you, people who believe in what you're doing, people that believe that it's possible for you to get to the place where you want to be. All right. That encouragement is so important. And I know that this is often something that we could, they said I could do it, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to discount, I think about the individuals who believed in me as I was losing my vision, when the idea of believing in myself was like, whatever, I guess that's cool. But I look back on that and I was like, wow, if my family didn't say, Tariq, we're not going to treat you any differently. We still believe you can do this. Whether they believed it or not, right? Whether they believed it or not, because we didn't know. We didn't know what blind people could do. We had no idea. And so even that, just saying, we're not going to treat you any different. We're going to move forward. You can do this. Just work hard. Even though we didn't know what those things meant, we just, you can almost argue that I didn't know any better, but to give it a shot, And so that encouragement piece, gosh, I can go down the list of family, teachers, friends, and that made me believe or at least think, or at least enter the thought that it was possible, whether we knew how or not. So that encouragement piece, gosh, I mean, the idea of myself crossing the street as a blind person was mind-blowing to me. Is it possible? Can blind people cross streets? I'm here to tell you the answer is yes. Not only that, I actually also work with other blind people and teach them how to cross streets, when there was a time where I didn't know how to cross streets at all as a blind person. I was like, this is foreign. This is not safe. Now I am like, hey, let's get out there and do it. Let's figure it out. And so just that belief, the concept, the thought of someone encouraging you, key. Surround yourself with those people. Negativity knocking at the door. We're not home. We're not answering. You're not welcome here. All right. Negativity, words like can't, are not welcome here. The door is that way. All right. Finally, to really tie up the bow a little bit on this people and talking about individuals, I want to mention this piece as well. When we're talking about building self-efficacy, it's not only about the language when we're talking about other people being involved in self-efficacy. The second piece to this is also talking about being able to see other people having success. All right. Now, I know we're talking about the channel. We're focused on our individual goals, but once again, you know what it is. We didn't say this in the beginning. However, this isn't only vision of hope. This is a we thing. This is we are vision of hope. All right. But on this part of self-efficacy, I'm really focusing on other people here in terms of building your own self-efficacy. And so being able to surround yourself with other individuals who are trying to do what you are doing, being able to see their successes, being able to recognize their successes. Okay. I mean, that might sound like a neat concept for sure, or maybe something that's obvious, maybe something that's not obvious, but think about it. So actors, okay? Shout out to my actors out there. I got friends in LA. Shout out to my actors. Shout out Reese Ford, one of our first interviews when the podcast first started. So I think about actors. Actors will learn from other individuals who have taken acting classes and or have also been actors. What a concept. What a concept. So another one, I would like to believe that some English teachers that teach in high schools have also taken English classes, right? Now, breaking that down back for myself for a second here, when thinking of being that blind person crossing the street for the first time, all right? It's so interesting because I did not think it was possible, all right? I did not think it was possible, but then being around other blind people, seeing what they were doing, seeing them cross streets, I was like, gosh, if all them can do it, well, why not I? Why not me? You know, what? I owe it to myself. You owe it to you to give yourself a shot. I owed it to myself to give myself a shot at doing this. You know, it's quick funny story. So at a place where I was learning how to travel as a blind person, a lot of the streets had different state names like Mississippi, Florida, Colorado, Arizona. And so students were talking about, oh, I'm going to Florida today. I'm going to Colorado today. And one of the new students were like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm going to be traveling here every day. Like, that's just what everybody's doing. So clearly I'm going to learn how to do that. And it's wild that that's the power that you have when your self-efficacy starts to build. You start thinking that you can walk to Colorado in a matter of 2 hours and come back, which is probably not the case unless you live in Colorado and you're already there. Then that's a different conversation. However, build your self-efficacy. It's important, and recognize that you can do it. We already talked about the dangers of having low self-efficacy. So let's start to implement some of these things, some of these concepts, so we can build our self-efficacy and recognize that there's nothing you or I can do. And with that, not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope.
When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run. I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision.